Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of our 3-part series on clustering with 45 drive storinators and open source software, clustering software, Ceph and Gluster FS. In this video we kind of wrap up the whole story. We talk about kind of like hardware best practices, configurations, when to use 3 servers, when to use just one of something. And we introduce some of the extra bits you need with Ceph and our hardware designs that go along with that. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's talk about, since we have our nice little Ceph monitor sitting here.
Nice.
So this is a product, we have 45 drives, and it's a Ceph monitor, and it's just a computer that's optimized, a standalone computer that you can put in your rack. It's all solid state. It's got, 2 solid state, it's got redundant boot drives, lots of memory. That's basically what it has.
Yep.
Right, and it's optimized CPU and memory-wise to be able to handle that load.
Mm-hmm.
So these are inexpensive. Put them in there and very low power draw, and you can put those in your network, and then all of a sudden you've offloaded your Ceph monitoring, your MDS.
You got it.
Okay. And in that, I guess my advantage is got a lower load on the server. My data servers can serve data.
Yeah.
And my monitors can monitor.
Yeah. And really the idea there is this, like any good cluster, is it grows with you. Say you're a new business, you need this data, you need it highly available, you know you're going to scale. But your budget's got 3 servers in it because of all these drives. Well, you know what? It's fine. Build your 3-node cluster, and we will co-locate everything. And then as you scale users, as you scale needs, you work with our team, and we build your cluster out with your business.
So I'm new to clustering, and I want to set up a cluster, and I'm just crossing that threshold for amount of data, and I got Gluster or Ceph. Give me the view in both of them. So yeah, what's my minimum? What's minimum size? How many machines do I need?
3 is the magic number.
So 3 is the magic number. I really should start with 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is from, well, you need 3 for quorum. And really that's what it comes down to. And what I mean by that is high availability. If you're going to have servers all working on the same tasks, they all need to be completely in sync with what they're doing. If you only have 2 servers, they'll always be fighting with who's actually right. If you have a 3rd server watching, you've always got quorum. You've always, and that's the idea. So Ceph, by design, literally can't be built any smaller than 3 nodes, 3 monitor services.
Gluster will allow
Gluster
2.
will allow 2, but
it's not.
You are putting yourself at risk for split brain and some very annoying manual tedious
Split
work.
brain is when they get they lose synchronization.
Yeah, and that's what I was
and
saying.
They can't tell which one is correct.
Yeah, so say the example, like I said, I've got 2 servers. You're working from the 2 of them. One of them goes down, and I don't know, for a network blip, and then comes back up. And now Gluster all of a sudden sees, oh, there's that file on this server, and there's this file on this server, but they're different. Who's right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And then it doesn't
Wonderful.
know. But if there's a 3rd one there, it'd be like, oh no, number 1, you fell asleep for a minute. Number 2, oh, okay, cool. Replicates itself and it's fixed.
Good. Yeah. So Ceph or Gluster. So what I got, and again, I'm going to summarize once more. What I got is Gluster, simple, straightforward file system. Start off with 3 servers, add them as I want. Everything runs smoother and less problems as the cluster gets bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Careful of a situation where a huge number of inodes.
You got it.
If you want directory listings, they may be slow. They won't slow down your throughput if you know where your file, know your full path to your file. But yeah, careful on your directory listings. Ceph, if we put Ceph together, you got this rock solid object store with metadata removed, and it's fairly bulletproof, and again, incredibly simple to scale out.
Yep.
Once you got the architecture, once you got it set up.
You nailed it. That was it. Yep. That's exactly it.
Speaking to an IT professional, they call it 45 drives, and they want to pose this question. We've talked about the generalities of this. So they want to get right down to it, and they said, I'm interested in clustering, and I want to use open source. So is it Ceph or is it Gluster? Is there always a simple answer to that?
Sometimes it's very simply Gluster, sometimes it's very simply Ceph, and sometimes the answer is you pick. What one do you like better?
Okay. So what kind of questions are you asking to what are the main features of the IT professional situation organization situation that you would?
Okay, what kind of file workload are you going to see out of this thing? Like, are you more of a media large streaming type of, like you need as much throughput as you can get out of this cluster? Then Gluster is a good choice for you because you can still build RAID underneath everything, and you get a huge performance out that way.
Big single file transfer
Big
speeds.
single file. That's where you really need it. That's where Gluster works well. And when disaster recovery is paramount above all else. If you're in a situation where you've got this and you need a very safe copy of it elsewhere in the world, Gluster does it better than any other.
Gluster, RAID underneath, and other machines in a different location hooked up and using georeplication, correct?
You got it. And it's a quick entry, so if you're someone who's a little scared of learning something new or simply just don't have the time, Glusterfest is a good choice there.
Okay, now what are the situations where Ceph is your clear winner? So Ceph FS is your clear winner?
If it's more of a just kind of miscellaneous file store for large companies, or not large companies, but a large file system for a company, which is general PDFs here and there. Say, like we said with the metadata thing, most normal people don't have files that big. Maybe a legacy of the business stores all your files in this one folder that's 40,000 things big. Maybe you're just kind of stuck with some inherent problems with your old file system that you need to deal with. That's where Cephfs is really useful for. And performance is solid, but it's not as fast as Gluster because
on the single file transfer.
On the single file transfer. However, the I/O, the latency, the I/O per second out of a Ceph cluster is much more parallel than a Gluster cluster.
Okay. So Brett, you're a fan of Ceph. You love Ceph.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like for all the reasons that we compared Glusterfest and Cephfs here, both are great. I love Cephfs. One of the big reasons why I love Ceph is because it can do more than just a file system. Your same cluster can give you object and block access, so it's just clean, I guess. Like it's clean. It's easy to use. You get one dashboard. Everything's all wrapped into one, and I hope everyone soon loves it as much as I do.
Well, let's shoot another video sometime about block applications and/or object applications.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I know our sales team would really be excited to tell the world about how we interface with VMware and all that. So it'd go really well.
Cool. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate sitting down and chat with you. And if anybody watching this have any issues clustering, or you consider putting a cluster in, come talk to us. We love clustering and got a great support team for it that'll help you get through this in a very economical way.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks.